We did hope to make some progress in a summit meeting, unpromising though the previous experiences had been. But as we made preparations for this meeting, we did not drop our guard nor relax our vigilance. Our safety and that of the free world demand, of course, effective systems for gathering information about the military capabilities of other powerful nations, especially those that make a fetish of secrecy. This involves many techniques and methods. In these times of vast military machines and nuclear-tipped missiles, the ferreting out of this information is indispensable to free world security. This has long been one of my most serious preoccupations. It is part of my grave responsibility within the overall problem of protecting the American people to guard ourselves and our allies against surprise attack. During the period leading up to World War II, we learned from bitter experience the imperative necessity of a continuous gathering of intelligence information, the maintenance of military communications and contact, and alertness of command. An additional word seems appropriate about this matter of communications and command. While the Secretary of Defense and I were in Paris, we were, of course, away from our normal command post. He recommended that, under the circumstances, we test the continuing readiness of our military communications. I personally approved. Such tests are valuable and will be frequently repeated in the future. Moreover, as President, charged by the Constitution with the conduct of America's foreign relations, and as Commander-in-Chief, charged with the direction of the operations and activities of our armed forces and their supporting services, I take full responsibility for approving all the various programs undertaken by our government to secure and evaluate military intelligence. It was in the prosecution of one of these intelligence programs that the widely publicized U-2 incident occurred. Now, two questions have been raised about this particular flight. First, as to its timing, considering the imminence of the summit meeting. Second, our initial statements when we learned the flight had failed. As to the timing, the question was really whether to halt the program and thus forego the gathering of important information that was essential and that was likely to be unavailable at a later date. The decision was that the program should not be halted. The plain truth is this: when a nation needs intelligence activity, there is no time when vigilance can be relaxed. Incidentally, from Pearl Harbor, we learned that even negotiation itself can be used to conceal preparations for a surprise attack. Next, as to our government's initial statement about the flight, this was issued to protect the pilot, his mission, and our intelligence processes at a time when the true facts were still undetermined. And now, most importantly, what about the future? All of us know that, whether started deliberately or accidentally, global war would leave civilization in a shambles. This is as true of the Soviet system as of all others. In a nuclear war, there can be no victors, only losers. Even despots understand this. Mr. Khrushchev stated last week that he well realizes that general nuclear war would bring catastrophe for both sides. Recognition of this mutual destructive capability is the basic reality of our present relations. Most assuredly, however, this does not mean that we shall ever give up trying to build a more sane and hopeful reality, a better foundation for our common relations. To do this, here are the policies we must follow. And to these I am confident the great majority of our people, regardless of party, give their support. First, we must keep up our strength and hold it steady for the long pull, a strength not neglected in complacency, nor overbuilt in hysteria. So doing, we can make it clear to everyone that there can be no gain in the use of pressure tactics or aggression against us and our allies. Second, we must continue business-like dealing with the Soviet leaders on outstanding issues and improve the contacts between our own and the Soviet peoples, making clear that the path of reason and common sense is still open if the Soviets will but use it. Third, to improve world conditions in which human freedom can flourish, we must continue to move ahead with positive programs at home and abroad, in collaboration with free nations everywhere. In doing so, we shall continue to give our strong support to the United Nations and the great principles for which it stands. I show you this photograph as an example of what could be accomplished through United Nations aerial surveillance. Indeed, if the United Nations should undertake this policy, this program, and the great nations of the world should accept it, I am convinced that not only can all humanity be assured that they are safe from any surprise attack from any quarter, but indeed the greatest tensions of all, the fear of war, would remove from the world. I sincerely hope that the United Nations may adopt such a program. Operating from the firm base of our spiritual and physical strength and seeking wisdom from the Almighty, we and our allies together will continue to work for the survival of mankind in freedom and for the goal of mutual respect, mutual understanding, and openness among all nations. Thank you, and good night.
These are the